Good morning. As part of our ongoing series called Ask Me Anything, this question comes in from Drew Hampstead, who asked, I loved listening to your interviews over the years. As business people, the ability to interview and ask someone a question is so important. What is your best advice for how to get the best out of someone when you are interviewing them? Okay, great question, Drew. And these are insights I'm not sure that I've ever actually shared before. Doing a great interview really is an art form. One, as you know, I have had to hone over a couple of decades, having interviewed some of the toughest characters that there are out there, and at times in some of the most challenging of circumstances. So let's start with the outcome you're after. You are not after discussing who this person is or even what they have done. That information is everywhere, or even, to most people's surprise, you're not even looking to figure out how they did what they did. If you haven't figured out by now, there are no mystery success secrets out there. What I always was looking for was to get to the person behind the profile and the person behind the press release, the human behind the heroic accolades, to get to know the mindset, the emotional and psychological wars that they had to wage inside in order to get themselves to follow through with, and to stick with the things that we all know to do, but just don't do because we lose those battles within. The best interviews are when someone opens up, when they allow themselves to be fully seen, when they show you their real, true, authentic self, the human behind the mask that they wear for everybody else. To do that, you have to, one, you have to go first. To create a safe, non-judgmental, and open environment, you have to expose your own vulnerability first. Some shortcomings that you have, some personal foible. Before the interview would start, I'd often reveal some embarrassing thing that happened on the way over to the interview, or some failure that I just encountered, maybe some mistake that I just made with my wife or with a friend. Once they can see that I'm human, they will feel safe to be human themselves. And unconsciously, they will feel a wee bit spiritually obligated to help me feel better by exposing a weakness or a failure or a foible themselves, hopefully while we have the cameras rolling. Number two, be prepared. And I mean really prepared. Find the anecdotes, the references, and or the stories from their childhood or quotes from people close to them about them that are not readily accessible through a Google search. This tells your guests that you actually care, that you have a deep interest in them, that you have invested your time to do your homework. When you show that you care, then they will care as well. This includes you preparing really insightful questions. The deeper the questions, rather than those that they have been asked 1,000 times that they already have canned answers for. Your research and your poignant questions should be designed to get them off their normal script and pre-packaged pat answers. Think, what will make this interview memorable to them? Don't worry about your audience. They will love witnessing somebody interesting really open themselves up. They will connect with that person emotionally, which will be gratifying and enriching to the viewer or listener. And then number three, ask your questions in the first person. Make it a conversation instead of an inquisition. Instead of asking, how do you do such and such? Or what would you say to a person if they were dealing with such and such? Instead, ask it this way. Hey, I've really been struggling with blank, and I know that you're really great at blank. What advice would you give to me about this issue? Or another example might be, you were quoted as saying blah, blah, blah. I know that this is something that I struggle with too. When you hit that wall, what was going on inside? What did you do to get yourself over it? I'm interested to learn how to do this for myself. You see, this makes for a much more engaging human-to-human exchange. And if you want to see a master at work, take these hard-earned insights that I've just shared with you and have them on hand, and then go watch an Oprah Super Soul Sunday. There are some great ones on there, by the way. I recommend the one with Maya Angelou, or the one with Tom Brady. Bradley Cooper's great. Joe Biden, Phil Jackson, and many others. You can watch it on her TV network and you can listen to it. She has a podcast where you can hear it. But now, instead of just watching or listening, watch and listen to Oprah. She does everything that I just outlined for you here. Watch or listen how she gets her guests to open up by first her opening herself up. Watch or listen to how prepared she is with insightful questions unique to her guest. And watch how she masterfully weaves the interview to have it feel much more like a conversation with her as an open-hearted human being, not being interviewed by the big O or just another interviewer. Now you'll know how she does it. And this formula is the same whether you are interviewing celebrities or superstars, or you're interviewing somebody for educational content, or you're interviewing candidates for a job, or interviewing your kids at the dinner table about their day. These are the methods for connecting with another human being and getting them to open up for any purpose in any environment. If you enjoyed today's Darren Daily and think that it would be valuable for somebody else, please send it to them via text or email, or use the share buttons that you see on the side. And tell us, how are you going to use these 3 tips? Who are the people that you will be connecting with or interviewing next? Tell us that in the comments below.
Hey Darren Daily friends, Darren did a fantastic video training series on persuasion, how to get anyone to say yes to you. The great thing is it's super applicable for anyone, whether you're trying to influence a team or your peers at the office, clients in the marketplace, your family at home, or your friends, well, everywhere. It's completely free and you can access it at darrenhardy.com/persuasion. We only ask that you use the super skill you'll learn as a force for good. Enjoy.